We're at Goldstar Battalion Beach in Huntington. This site is our shellfish grow-out facility for the town of Huntington. We produce clams and oysters that are grown here, and then we ultimately seed them into the larger Huntington Northport Bay complex. This program has been going on for about 15 years, and it's grown and expanded a little bit as time's gone along. This facility has undergone some major improvements. It was slightly underwater during Hurricane Sandy, so it needed to get a little facelift. And the program primarily involves high school students that we get from the town. They are residents of Huntington. Sometimes we have college students as well. We have them during the summer months, July and August, and we teach them about shellfish aquaculture. They help with the maintenance. We teach them about water quality, measurements, temperature, salinity, dissolved oxygen, and how all of those things with the shellfish, how they improve those, especially dissolved oxygen, how they can improve the water qualities with that.
So after we cultured all these oysters, we took them on the harbor master's boat and we went to 5 locations to seed them. All these oysters, they can clean about 50 gallons of water a day, and so we're putting them around different parts of the harbor to just improve the water quality.
That's a pretty arduous task, huh? Why did you choose to do this type of thing for your volunteer or your internship?
I mean, general experience and gain of knowledge. Like, there's so much to learn out on the docks, and like working out here is just pure. It's like so much fun.
Again, a lot of the fun from the job comes from just knowing the fact that you're actually like benefiting the world in some aspect. It's not just like a summer job where you're like working retail. You're actually like doing something to make the world a better place, and I think that's really cool as such a young person and to already be involved in that. And also it's just fun sometimes just chilling on the docks, making some memories.
My uncle actually works with Cornell Cooperative out east actually, and my school really didn't get any emails about it, but he told me about it and I kind of piqued my interest, so I wanted to come see what it is, and 3 years later I'm still here.
So the town has been really strong supporters in what we're doing. They've been a great resource and great funding agency. The town, they took care of the outside of the building and we gutted the inside of the building. We redid that, put in insulation, redid the siding on the walls so that it could sustain itself more long term, and so that we could also turn it into a little pocket hatchery where we can do some educational growth. We wouldn't necessarily be producing all of our shellfish here just because we don't have quite the space, but we're able to do it on a smaller scale and also in a more research type setting. And with that, we've got a air conditioner heater unit that allows the temperature to stay stable so we can actually culture algae here, which allows us to feed shellfish and potentially spawn shellfish and stuff like that. So we're hoping to obviously continue producing the clams and oysters. We'd like to expand. We did a pilot study with bay scallops, trying to replicate or simulate the Peconic estuary bay scallop restoration program, trying to take those methods and use them here. I did a pilot study where we brought juveniles here, raised them for a year. They survived over the winter, they spawned the next year. So we've been trying to get grants so we could potentially try to do that and expand that here, which would be a great opportunity to try to do that. And if that did work out, perhaps that methodology could be applied in other smaller embayments around the island. Recently, the village of Northport, which is part of the overall town of Huntington, they are looking into trying to acquire a shellfish flupsy dock so that they can be growing out oysters over there and getting their community involved, also bringing in Northport high school students. We have a community aquaculture restoration enhancement program. We call it Shellfish Care. We're trying to expand that as well, and we might try to use potentially Goldstar, if not another location in Huntington for that. And that's similar to our SPAT program, but this is more geared towards people raising oysters and teaching them about that. And then the overall goal of that is they actually will seed the oysters into what we would hope be a spawning sanctuary. So somewhere perhaps they wouldn't get harvested, but just be allowed to grow and thrive there and continuously feed the embayment with fresh larvae that could be helping to the natural population. So those 3 projects in particular are kind of right on the cusp. We're hoping that we move forward with those. And you never know, sometimes there's always new little things that pop up. But those three things are right on the horizon for us that we're hoping that we can use Goldstar facility to be kind of the hub for those things.